persons laid off due to threat of coronavirus under newly announced social stabilization plan. Hello and welcome to the Information Command Center for St. Lucia. St. Lucia's COVID-19 response live at the GIS studios. Today is a Thursday, 9th April 2020. My name is Jessie Leonce and I'm joined in studio by my colleague Carlton Cyril, better known as Cooks, who as usual will be translating this morning's report in Creole. Good morning, Cooks.
Merci, Jessie. Morning.
Morning. The lead updates for the government of St. Lucia in response to COVID-19 are: Prime Minister Alan Chasney confirms arrangements for temporary income support to persons laid off due to threat of coronavirus as part of the social stabilization plan to stem COVID-19 induced economic fallout. Lucia reaches an agreement with government to provide relief to businesses and individuals who suffered losses due to COVID-19. Also, the Department of Inland Revenue offers extensions, waivers, and credits due to the COVID-19 onset, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness stresses the importance of quarantine and isolation to curb COVID-19 transmission. We begin with the details of these developments. Prime Minister the Honorable Alan Chasney has guaranteed subsistence allowances for persons laid off due to the threat of the coronavirus. This assurance featured in his address to the nation last evening, outlining the overall social stabilization plan in response to COVID-19. Prime Minister Chasney announced that the National Insurance Corporation will fund the temporary income support for its contributors, and the government of St. Lucia will fund subsistence allowances for non-contributors on island. We'll now go to clip one. That is the first clip of the Prime Minister, the Honorable Alan Chasney, speaking on NIC contributors and their benefits.
With respect to NIC contributors, a monthly payment relative to your salary of no less than $500 and $1,500 a month will be offered, depending on what your salary was, for a period of 3 months in the first instance, starting in April. Persons eligible for this program had to have paid contributions to the fund for at least 1 month prior to February 2020. They must have become unemployed as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. They must not have been in receipt of any other benefits from the NIC.
Yeah, so the NIC allowance is expected to be between 33 to 80 million over the 3-month period, a 3-month period depending on the number of eligible persons. A review will be conducted to determine if an extension of another 3 months will be required. Non-contributors to NIC, including taxi drivers, vendors, small business persons, persons in the creative industry, those who have been displaced through loss of employment or income will receive a fixed allowance from the government. And the government's budget for this is $16.8 million.
This income support will be in the amount of $500 monthly for 3 months. This is expected to be in excess of $16.8 million based on the number of eligible persons. Our situation today brings to light the importance of persons signing up to NIC. For those not making a contribution and who the government will be providing support to, a precondition will be that they must sign up to the NIC.
Under the Social Stabilization Plan, all members of the public will be able to benefit from the earlier commencement of duty-free barrel concessions from December to a proposed June 2020 start date. So members of the public will be able to benefit from an earlier commencement of duty-free barrel concessions from December to the proposed June 2020 start date, and that will cost the government of St. Lucia approximately $4 million. The government also intends to implement price gouging legislation to protect consumers during this time. Also, a national meals program will be implemented, and low or no cost no or low-cost medicine and supplements procured in bulk by government will be dispensed to the public, and these include vitamin C, pain relievers, cold and flu and cough medicine, and allergy and sinus and decongestant medicine. And this is all to accommodate the general public during this threat of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Prime Minister made a special appeal to creditors, that is landlords and hire purchase companies, to demonstrate compassion by providing relief to persons indebted to them. Prime Minister Chasney added that the government is currently in talks with the insurance agencies on behalf of St. Lucian residents and businesses affected by COVID-19 to offer a moratorium on the payment of their insurance premiums without losing coverage. Persons are asked to contact their insurance brokers to formalize agreed upon arrangements. And the Prime Minister also reaffirmed that displaced workers and businesses adversely affected by COVID-19 would be granted moratorium on commercial bank loan repayments for 6 months, that is April to September 2020. I repeat, the Prime Minister reaffirmed that displaced workers and businesses adversely affected by the onslaught of COVID-19 would be granted moratorium on commercial bank loan repayments for 6 months, that is the period April to September 2020, adding that similar efforts are underway for credit unions as well. According to the Prime Minister, the government has come to an agreement with the St. Lucia Electricity Services, that is LUCELEC, in providing relief to businesses and individuals who have suffered losses due to COVID-19.
The St. Lucia Electricity Services, LUCELEC, has given its commitment to provide support to those on welfare and those who may have lost their jobs as a direct result of COVID-19 crisis. Working with the relevant agencies to identify these customers, the company will suspend disconnections for these groups at this time. This will be reviewed monthly to determine if this pool should be expanded. LUCELEC is also assisting the government of St. Lucia with covering some of the costs associated with operating the quarantine and isolation centers.
Government is endeavoring also to encourage and facilitate production of products by local manufacturers using local raw materials, and that is to make hand sanitizer, liquid hand soap, rubbing alcohol, face masks, disposable gloves, bathroom tissue, paper towels, etc.
Any manufacturer that wishes to diversify into the production of any of these items will receive an automatic approval from the Minister responsibility for Commerce, and the Ministry will process the documents for the duty-free concessions on the relevant inputs. This would not only help our companies to retain staff and stem the tide of unemployment, but would enable these manufacturers to take advantage of the opportunities that this crisis presents.
That word there coming from the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Of course, quite a bit of information under the Social Stabilization Plan. Just to add some more pointers coming out of his announcement, government is considering special concessions to entities that produce sanitation and healthcare products, including sanitizers and face masks. Government also encourages local entrepreneurs to produce alternatives to vitamin C supplements for local consumption. Other relief mechanisms put in place by government for businesses and persons in business for themselves include the transport offer, and the transport sector has been offered a rebate, fuel rebate to bus drivers. Government will facilitate the payment of the requested fuel rebate to minibus operators. Government is also considering the waiver of vehicle licenses fees for bus drivers and taxi drivers, and that will come at a cost to the government of St. Lucia at approximately $1.1 million. Government also intends to increase its purchases from farmers and fishermen, so increase purchase of produce and fish products from farmers and fishermen, and provide direct support to farmers through other means in terms of export, etc. Suspension of all rental payments for 6 months for small, medium, and micro enterprises renting from government that can demonstrate loss of business. This includes vendors and operators of hospitality operations, including restaurants which are accommodated in units owned by the government. So the government of St. Lucia will also be suspending all rental payments for 6 months for small, medium, and micro enterprises renting from the government of St. Lucia that can demonstrate that they had loss of business. Also, we want to make a note of the tax reliefs that the government of St. Lucia will be offering the general public. There has been an extension of corporate tax installment payments, an extension of time for filing of income tax returns by 1 month, a waiver of interest and penalties on all tax types for March 2020, and a tax credit to companies and other entities which retain at least 30% of their staff. This is in an attempt for businesses to retain their staff as best as possible. We have a clip on that from the Prime Minister.
In order to encourage companies to maintain their staff, the government will offer a tax credit of 30% of the employee's full salary. The tax credit will be tiered based on the number of employees that are retained by the entity. One condition is that the company would have to obtain a tax clearance certificate from the Inland Revenue Department to show that they are not indebted to the government for the payment of taxes.
So that word there coming from the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, providing 30% relief with regard to taxes to businesses that retain at least 30% of their staff. Quite a bit of information under the Social Stabilization Plan, Carlton, that the Prime Minister has put forward in terms of relieving St. Lucians who have been affected, St. Lucian businesses, individuals who have been affected by the onslaught of the COVID-19 threat. I now want to hand over to you just to provide a synopsis on the Prime Minister's statements last night.
Merci, Anchai, Jesse Léonce. Bon, bonjour pour jeudi, jeudi 5 avril. Moi, c'est Carlton Cox, plus mais connaître Carlton Cyril, excusez-moi, plus mais connaître Cox. Nous avons ici à Hard Headquarters. GIS là, si c'est nous avons délivré toute information qui a sorti du gouvernement et que vous savez il y a ces développements qui déjà fait là c'est les vini pour annoncement premier ministre là plan by nation ça y a créé plan social stabilisation et ben bon gouvernement a mis plan dehors et quand chaque monde ka espérer chaque monde ka demander qui manière qui ça qui a dit dans plan ça et ben là premier ministre fait révélation ça yo souhait là ni en chaque information conjourner en aller au kai joindre connaître plus mais nous ca essayer dans bas yon power sol ba ou ça nous quoi moun brisé savent comment dit plus tard nous ca entrer dans plus fond pour bail explanation et pour do qui ça qui en bas plan nous ca commencer les venir pour public là et moun qui ca trouver quoi yo ca payer NIC les venir pour moun qui ca payer NIC gouvernement déjà annoncé date qui c'est moun ça yo kay joindre un soulagement ou kay hen un paiement hod NIC les vini pour salaire quantité et détail là ou kay savent hod NIC gouvernement est bien clair pour dire il pas kay plus passer $500 et 1,500 mais pour qualification et si vous qualifiez ou kay bousin savent NIC qu'il faut savoir, ces conditions, l'année condition aussi, ça veut dire ou pas si posé qu'à oui s'ouvrir pièce qualité soulagement pas du temps ou pas en travail et date qui ou déjà payé un mois avant qui c'est mois février mois février ou déjà payé NIC et ou c'est en membre NIC. Aussi, elle est venue pour moun qui pas un membre NIC ou qui trouver qu'on ka joindre anti soulagement hot gouvernement et puis la gouvernement ça elle est venue pour l'argent ça gouvernement qui dépensé pour assister moun ça NIC qui a payé gouvernement qui a coûté pays à 33 pour $80,000. Premier ministre là aussi mentionné les vini pour moun qui ka loué moun qui ka gain marchandises horde différentes compagnies dat qui yo mouche compassion à sous ces moun ça ek bayon ti soulagement les vini pour ces dettes ça yo ka ni pour payer. Parmi l'autre bagay qui était discuté en bas plan premier ministre là nous kaini la assurance qui c'est insurance et puis premier ministre là dit il ja parlé by même ces organisations ça et puis c'est moun ça yo kay ni pour vin dans agrément et puis premier ministre là déjà gouvernement kay dit c'est moun ça kay ni pour bay moun anti soulagement ou kay hen en chance à sous d'être là on est pour payer mais yo ka encourager moun pour parler by ces gens insurance soit et trouver qui arrangement qui ja fait il vient faire assurance là vini pour monde qui trouver quoi yo affecté qui ni l'oignon pour payer en banque commercial et puis yo ni pour vier payer c'est loan ça dat qui yo kay hen c'est loan ça paiement yo kay hen soulagement sous paiement qui veut dire ou pas kay ni moi paiement ça moi nous ka parler qui c'est à présent mais yo kay faire arrangement pour où ça paye plus tard. Et ça c'est pour banque commerciale moun qui ni loan et puis paiement on ni pour faire dans 6 mois et yo ka veille à vous pour aller juste septembre et yo ka do yo ni faut faire pour parler by ces gens credit union quoi arrangement j'ai fait pour ces banques commerciales là et gouvernement qui fait ça qui sa décision est là venu pour credit union according pour premier ministre là agrément a venu aussi là il venu pour Lucia Lucia qui a aidé le gouvernement là là venu pour assister moun qui a fait business et puis compagnie et moun qui a souffert as a résultat de vermin COVID-19 Lucia qui fait arrangement et pour as a résultat de ça premier ministre dans parole li aussi dit les vini pour Lucia a d'accord pour assister dans ces places là expressément quand l'hôpital et différents établissements pour assister yo quand yo ka fait opération là as a résultat de vermin COVID-19 là un chay qui discuté mais comme bien d'où nous aller sur ça nous ko Bouizenton parmi l'autre bagay ou kay savent gouvernement j'ai dit yo kay bay assistant pour moun qui ka produit ces bagay là nous Bouizen expressément pour vermin COVID-19 yo ka parler di bagay kon sanitizer pour la main moun qui ka fait savon là vini pour rubbing alcohol là vini pour masque là vini pour glove là vini pour serviette pour bathroom tissue tout ces bagages ça gouvernement kay bay ces moun ça yon assistance kay travail pour yo yo ka kwe ça kay bay en chay moun opportunité pour hen un t-shirt pour travail aussi as a résultat de yo qui perd travail yo par du temps nous ka aller en situation COVID-19 plus information qu'a sorti gouvernement a sous ça plan là vini pour plan pour pays gouvernement a dit là vini pour ces différents gens qui involvés en une manière et ben l'autre expressément pour affaires taxes et ben là gouvernement a dit ou kaywe compagnie nous kaywe moun qui doit dans certains cas place business gouvernement kaywe c'est moun sa hen un soulagement et puis expressement depuis ça mouché pendant tout moi ka kwe il ka parler di moun qui ka travaille directement les vini pour affaires kon affaires tourist en cette business qui ka dépendant là ça date qui ou kay département tax inland revenue kay baou un soulagement là aussi nous savons parmi bagay les vini pour ces minibus driver au kay sa gouvernement ja d'accord à sous des conditions yon yo ka parler dit c'est là vini pour rebate à sous gas qui ja gain ba c'est minibus driver yo ka hen rebate en laisse ça et aussi là vini pour licence yo ni pour payer yo kay bay un soulagement sous ça aussi yo pas kay ni pour payer ça plus information yo kay bay mais kay coûter gouvernement à peu près 1.1 million $. Aussi, nous savons les vini pour concession à sous barrel. Premier ministre a parlé à sous ça. Yon a se bagay là, il ja dit c'est il kay commencer plus bonnet les nous vini pour fait concession à sous bawi moun ka we dat ki sakay a pas nous l'habitude de commencer en décembre, mais le gouvernement a proposé pour y commencer en juin, quoi, moun kay hen soulagement. Là, il vient pour article méchant. Là, il vient pour article, nous a servi et quand chay se bagay là nous besoin pour COVID-19, gouvernement a déjà dit yo même kay vini avec la kayni en soulagement à sous puis ces bagages ça ou kay besoin bagages comme vitamine si bagages comme tablette et puis différents bagages ou besoin pour point as a result de ça gouvernement kay bay un soulagement à sous ça aussi. Là comme bien do monsieur quand journée en calé nous kay ba ou plus information mais ou kay ça nous ka essayer faire tout ça dedans en bon matin mais plus information pour venir mais ba yon petit par au sol nous mettez ba ou ensemble nous kay ba ou plus détail Jesse.
Thank you very much. Well, these are just what we have outlined to you in the last 15 minutes are the 10 poles of essentially how businesses and individuals in St. Lucia who have been negatively impacted through job losses and otherwise by the threat of the COVID-19 pandemic can benefit, receive a relief from the government of St. Lucia. We will be providing more information on the Prime Minister's address last night with regard to the social stabilization plan for the country as it pertains to the government's own pursuit of relief from regional and international, local, regional and international agencies. So we hope that you stay tuned for that. When we come back after the break, we speak to Miss Nyla James, and she's a family case worker from the Bureau of Human Services. We continue the coverage of the social stabilization plan while providing updates and providing more information on how persons can cope, updates on nationally on emergency management through NEMO. We have that coming up in just a moment. So we want you to stay tuned for that information and more.
Coronavirus? I am worried, Gasa. It's only old people dying from that.
Hold up. Being young does not mean being safe. Yes, it's true that the elderly are at higher risk, but anyone can get the virus. The effect is even worse if you have a chronic condition like hypertension, heart disease, lung disease, and diabetes, or weakness in your immune system. If you are living with these conditions, be extra careful. Wash your hands with soap and water. Use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol when hand washing is not possible. Avoid touching your face. Take steps to boost your immunity through proper nutrition, exercise, rest, and take your medication as prescribed. Limit being around people who have flu symptoms, even close family members.
Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Coronavirus? But children are safe, no?
Hold up. Children are actually more likely to touch all kinds of surfaces, put their hands on their mouths and their eyes, or sneeze and cough with little thought about hygiene when around others. While children have been seen to recover well from this virus, they can easily spread it to those more at risk, like the elderly or ill persons who have a weaker immune system. Teach the little ones in your care to be little powerhouses of infection prevention. Keep reminding them, wash your hands. Cover your mouth with tissue or your inner elbow when you sneeze and cough. And be sure to praise them when you see them taking these precautions.
Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Wash your hands. Wash them before
eating or handling food or caring for infants, sick or elderly people.
Wash your hands. Wash them after
using the toilet, touching raw meat, handling pets and livestock, playing outdoors, cleaning or handling waste and garbage.
Wash your hands. Wash them often.
You are going right when you make a habit of washing your hands several times a day.
This message brought to you courtesy the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
What's in the food you're eating? Do you really even know? All the chemicals and hormones used to accelerate their growth. All the artificial flavoring, sweeteners and colors too. We consume and we don't spare a thought for the damage that they'll do. Think about the children. Think about the children. How will we save them? Chemicals and GMOs are not the solution. Use organic and join.
Excessive agrochemical use, additives, and genetically modified foods are harmful to health and the environment. Join the good food revolution. Grow, buy, and consume organic. A message from Rise St. Lucia and the Ministry of Sustainable Development with funding from the GEF Small Grants Program, UNDP.
The good food revolution.
Coronavirus? I am worried, Gasa. It's only old people dying from that.
Hold up. Being young does not mean being safe. Yes, it's true that the elderly are at higher risk, but anyone can get the virus. The effect is even worse if you have a chronic condition like hypertension, heart disease, lung disease, and diabetes, or weakness in your immune system. If you are living with these conditions, be extra careful. Wash your hands with soap and water. Use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol when hand washing is not possible. Avoid touching your face. Take steps to boost your immunity through proper nutrition, exercise, rest, and take your medication as prescribed. Limit being around people who have flu symptoms, even close family members.
Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Welcome back to the morning edition of the St. Lucia's COVID-19 Response Report. In this segment, we are joined by Nyla James. She is the family case worker at the Bureau of Human Services. She's here to speak to us on the effects of COVID-19 on children in the community. Good morning, Ms. James. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Leo.
Just to go over the effects of kids, it's something that has not been really spoken of and not considered. Can you just tell us, from a child's eye, a child's mind, this sort of pandemic, how do they perceive it, and how should parents and guardians guide that perception?
Okay, well, what we need to remember that they're little people, and they have strong emotions about the crisis just as much as we do. So we should expect some sort of emotion from them. We may notice now that some children are dealing with it, what we may consider to be the right way, whereas we have others who you would not notice any signs from them until later on. Perhaps when we go back to normal programming, we'd notice that, you know, they're unable to, let's say, get up early to go back to school and go back to the whole, you know, education system. So they too have their own strong emotions towards it. So what we need to do as parents and caregivers is to teach them how exactly it is to cope with the whole crisis that's happening right now. And in order for us to do that, we need to try to manage our own stress levels as well. Because what's happening is that the children, they're feeding off of our emotions, they're feeding off of our stress levels. So as parents and caregivers, we need to set that example for the children by managing our own stress levels. Some of the ways we can do that, of course, is by living a healthy lifestyle and monitoring our, our bodies, mind, even the spiritual aspects of it. And some of that would include eating healthy, exercising, getting plenty of sleep, and as much as possible, even though we're Caribbean people, try to avoid using alcohol and drugs to cope. We're a community of people who love alcohol, but as much as possible, because it's a crisis, try to stay away from the alcohol because it's going to be used as a coping mechanism while dealing with the stress. Ensure that we talk to them a lot because they want to know and understand as well what exactly is happening in the pandemic. So ensure that we speak to the children so we could understand from their perspective what is happening with them.
Okay. In terms of conveying the gravity of the COVID-19 situation, I think it would be a very opportune time to teach kids the importance of obeying the laws, because certainly there are measures put in place by the Emergency Powers Act. Certainly a time to convey the gravity of the situation. Can you speak to us about how this can be done by parents, guardians, etc.?
Well, okay. There's quite a few things that could be done, and the other thing we need to remember is we have different levels, because just as the school system is broken down into, we have preschoolers, we have the primary school, and we have secondary school. Our children understand things differently. They understand differently, they cope differently. So in regards to the law, as we go through teaching them about the coping skills, that could be a part of it as well. And I will just take that opportunity just to give guidance on how we deal with children based on their developmental level. For preschoolers in particular, we have them, that's probably through the age 2 to 5 years old. What we can do as much as possible is to ensure that we turn off the television, computers, smart devices, try to not expose them too much to exactly what is happening right now. It's a scary time. We don't want to scare them too much. We don't want to raise their anxiety. And as parents, of course, you would not, expose our children to scary movies and thrillers. And right now, if we're being realistic, this is exactly what is happening now. It's scary, it's a scary time, and we don't want to expose them too much to it. We need to try to show them a lot more of attention, love and attention, because we want them to feel safe. Now, in doing all of that, just to go back to your question, if we provide a certain level of structure for these children, it will help them, in dealing with the situation. And of course, as I said earlier, they need to learn, they feed off of us. So if the children see us following the necessary precautions, of course, they would do the same. And by extension, that would be following the laws, wearing your mask, staying indoors and all of that.
Hygiene.
Practicing the hygiene. And with that, we could do that for that age, we could do that in a playful manner. Teach them how to wash their hands in a more playful manner. We teach them the social distancing, make it a game. So they would be learning what's put in place. However, it would seem like it would be in a more relaxed setting for them.
Okay. Can you go over some of the tips for kids during this corona downtime that would be beneficial to them? Because we know school is out, examinations have been suspended. What can they do during this time?
Okay. Like I said earlier, in regards to the age, we have, so the different ages, you would expose them to different things. For our children, like I said, we have they're very playful, so we expose them to play. Bearing in mind, we need to ensure that a structure is put in place. So they're still exposed to doing their schoolwork, they're still doing, getting some time to play, they're getting time to read, but ensure it's in a structured manner. So every morning they wake up, they know they have breakfast. After breakfast, you do some schoolwork. Following that, you do some reading. So there's a structure put in place for the younger people, our younger children. Ensure the structure is always there. You set some time to ensure that you have one-on-one time with them. Even if it's 20 minutes, you sit down and have a conversation with your younger children. For the teenagers, it would be different. The structure is still there, but you want to ensure that the teenagers, they stay in touch with their friends. We know that teenagers, they always their friends are a big deal. So one of the ways that we could ensure that they do that is social media. I know how parents feel about social media. Everybody is concerned about the negative effects of social media, but we need to understand that these are teenagers, and we need to let them cope with the situation. One of the ways that we can monitor it is to do the social media with them. I'm sure everyone is aware of, everybody's doing TikTok, the Instagram, Facebook. We do that with them, and it helps them cope. It seems, people seen it as it's not that big of a deal. But the funny thing is, it's a way to help our teenagers in particular cope with it. The younger children, maybe toddlers, babies, you could do things like singing with them, playing, doing blocks, reading to them, and different things to ensure that you take their mind off of what's happening right now.
And it's some good quality family time.
Quality family time is definitely needed, because once you do that, the children, for that matter, get an opportunity to speak and ask questions. I want to highlight, though, it's okay to tell the children that you don't know, because there are some things that we obviously don't know. You can't tell them that you don't know, and we're trying to find out, but it gives you an opportunity to speak with them, hear how they feel about the situation and what they want, what they want done.
Kids may flip the channel to CNN, international television stations, as well as local. And of course, you would, based on the information, it could create an atmosphere, a vibe of fear in them. Can you speak on how parents can help their children to cope and to process all this overload of information that might, put chaos, in their minds?
Yes. Well, like I said, with the younger people, that's the school-age children, try as much as possible to not allow them to look at it, because it's scary. It's scary for me as an adult. So you could imagine a child seeing bodies being, placed in the mass bodies being buried away. People speaking about how the corona is affecting them with breathing tubes over them. It's a very scary time. As much as possible, I'm encouraging that parents don't allow for their younger children to pay attention to CNN and BBC. So with that, you'd obviously need to monitor their screen time.
Okay.
With the teenagers, I would recommend that they watch it with them. So if any questions come up, that would be a perfect time, for open conversation between the parents and the teenager. But for the children, I'm highly recommending that we try to keep them away from it as much as possible. And it's not to keep them ignorant with it. It's just a very hard time for everybody. They're already indoors, and they're dealing with so much. It's pointless putting additional fear into them while being in the house.
Okay. Can you just give, certainly, if I speak about the teens, it's certainly protecting them, staying indoors is protecting them from the negative impacts of society that they would typically be exposed to.
Yes.
Care to comment on that as well?
Sorry, repeat that again.
The negative impacts of society, or perhaps children will be found loitering in the city, etc. This is an opportunity for parents to redirect, sort of.
Yes, exactly. And then they get that time to spend with children, because and it's funny that we're seeing the negative effects of the COVID-19, but it also has a positive impact on family life, if you ask me, because parents who would have probably been out the entire week, only seeing their children while they're in bed, or only seeing their children on their way out to school, get a chance to actually spend time with their teenagers. Like I mentioned with the whole TikTok and the Instagram thing, that you're getting to know your child, the kind of music that they like, their friends, what they're into. You get an opportunity to speak to them on sports. You get a chance to spend time with your child, and then, like you pointing out, they're not exposed to because most children who don't get their parents to sit with and talk to at home, they go outside to look for their friends, go outside to look for their support. But right now, most people are inside. So that is actually a positive, I would say, impact of the COVID-19 for now.
Any additional information on how children can be managed during this COVID-19 situation?
Well, I would just give some advice. What we need to remember when we're trying to deal with our children indoors, whatever that we're trying to put in place for them, just ensure that we're realistic about it. Don't expect that you could tell a 5-6-year-old to keep quiet and they've been indoors all day. That's almost impossible for a child to do. You cannot expect a child to be indoors and quiet all day. Perhaps you could ask the child, can you be quiet for 15 minutes while I'm on a call, or something of that nature. So set realistic expectations for children depending on their age. if you get an opportunity to take them outside, and by outside I mean in your yard, your balcony, you ensure that you get them to do that, even if they do some exercises in the balcony or in the living room. But try to set realistic expectations for the children so that we ourselves would not be stressed as a result of them not listening. But we understand that it's a stressful situation, and as anything else, parents are highly encouraged, take some time for yourself. Once upon a time when they were babies, the advice was sleep when they sleep. We have to go back to that again. When they're asleep, try to take some time for ourselves, breathe, relax, see how the day went, because it's a stressful situation. Millions of people are dealing with it. It's not just you as a parent, it's not just me, it's everybody's dealing with it, so we're not alone. So take some time for yourself, to speak to your friends, and set realistic expectations for your children.
I hand over to Carlton to provide a wrap-up of that in Creole.
Ok, moi dit merci en chay, Jesse, bonjour pour vous, Nyla James. Ou kay sa, James sorti débattement pour affaire mamay. Ici, à nous conseil sur ça quoi nous supposé faire manière et même quand situation là ni pour faire puis mamay parmi ça il a discuté puis nous là vini pousser mamay là according pour l'âge ou supposé yon manière pousser mamay ça comporter quoi yo pas du temps yo dedans kaila yon nan se bagay la dit c'est faire asiwe ou comparant exemple ou ka faire exemple ou ka bayon dedans kaila c'est ça ou ka mouche yo pas dit c'est maman là ou supposé pe bouche ou pas parler et pour ça viande de kaila ou même ka parler puis passer yo parmi l'autre bagay il dit faire asiwe ou mettre un bagay en place ba c'est maman là c'est plus petit à faire yo comprendre là yo lever ça yo ni pour faire manger ben amasser yon livre. Après, yo savez télévision, yo savez sur toute tablette, yo tout le monde c'est social media à présent. C'est plus grand, et donc sous kay quitter c'est plus grand parler bay gens yo qui doit là, yon nan se bagay lon ça fait temps et puis c'est plus grand maman là. Vin joindre et ben vin connaître comment qui gens yo parce qu'en chaidi nous parents toujours en travail et yon nan se bon bagay là qui a sorti en affaire vermine COVID-19 c'est nous ni plus temps et puis nous avec plus temps pour waiter en kaila. Quoi, c'est une bonne opportunité là venir pour maman en l'âge au ka parler di 14 16 c'est maman ça venir savent comment gens yo comment yo ka parler ba sur WhatsApp en internet Instagram social media ça c'est bon là pour faire ça mais ça qui bien important c'est ou ni pour faire assis ou mettre un bagay en place ba yo qui ça yo fait les yo lever en même mettre bagay en place monsieur James vle di nous faire assis ou ba c'est maman là bagay yo kay ça suivre. C'est maman là dans Kailek pas quoi pour dire pas faire des autres parcours. Yon dit dans même qu'on mais ça il a dit à bayon temps pour faire ça. Yon dans ces questions mademoiselle Léonce demandé madame James mademoiselle James c'est là il vini pour manière ou kay agir des fois maman. Qui manière ou kay fait? Il dit parmi bagay ou ça fait c'est là il vini pour toute sa information avec nouvelles ou ka wè sur télévision nous qu'on grand monde bien paix. Et tout ça nous qui a fait Oliwan nous l'autre pays qu'on a fait assis c'est maman là si au kaive ça qui pligon nous les puis pour ba une explanation pas peur pour dire ou pas savent si au mando en question mais c'est plus petit il a dit nous il a ban nous conseil il a dit nous ba une explanation yo kay ça comprendre fait une manière pour yo ça amuser koyo tel qu'on manyo kay ba yo explanation pour distance nan yo supposé wete hot yon a lot fait qu'on ti jouer mais di yo ça y a laver la main ou ça fait bagay puis ba yo explanation quoi yo pas ka ouais c'est comme si un bagay qui ouais mais yon bagay yo kay ouais yo ka amuser koyo parmi l'autre bagay mademoiselle James bien parlé et puis conseil i kay ban nous ici c'est faites un pour quoi aussi. Pas du temps c'est maman là si yo les yo kay dormi, pas du temps yo même en la paix, point anti chance bay ko parce ou kay savant dans yon manière nous tout a trouvé qu'on nous affecté. Quoi c'est maman là yo là même comme moi pour moi ka ça il a dit en tout c'est date qui nous changer yo c'est maman mettez bagay en place, mais fait assurer ça nous mettre en place dans bagay yo kay ça suivre, fait temps et puis yo changer nous tout en même bout là ici quoi attention c'est pour nous combattre et enfin nous tout kay bien qu'à sortir en deuil. Mademoiselle Jessie.
Thank you very much, Carlton. Ms. James, any final words? We're due for our next break, so we're going to be wrapping up this interview with Ms. James and moving on to the National Emergency Management Organization's Director, Ms. Dorine Gustave, to provide an update on the situation with NEMO in terms of the imposition of the curfew, as well as providing relief supplies island-wide. Ms. James?
The only thing I would say is try to ensure that you always end your day on a good note. We're all stressed out, but however it goes, ensure that we end our day on a good note.
Okay, thank you very much. And on that note, we now go to break. Thank you, Ms. James.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coronavirus? I am worried, Gasa. It's only old people dying from that.
Hold up. Being young does not mean being safe. Yes, it's true that the elderly are at higher risk, but anyone can get the virus. The effect is even worse if you have a chronic condition like hypertension, heart disease, lung disease, and diabetes, or weakness in your immune system. If you are living with these conditions, be extra careful. Wash your hands with soap and water. Use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol when hand washing is not possible. Avoid touching your face. Take steps to boost your immunity through proper nutrition, exercise, rest, and take your medication as prescribed. Limit being around people who have flu symptoms, even close family members.
Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
What's in the food you're eating? Do you really even know? All the chemicals and hormones used to accelerate their growth. All the artificial flavoring, sweeteners and colors too. We consume and we don't spare a thought for the damage that they'll do. No, think about the children. Think about the children. How will we save them? Chemicals and GMOs are not the solution. Use organic and join revolution.
Excessive agrochemical use, additives, and genetically modified foods are harmful to health and the environment. Join the good food revolution. Grow, buy, and consume organic. A message from Rise St. Lucia and the Ministry of Sustainable Development with funding from the GEF Small Grants Program, UNDP.
The good food revolution.
42.
Welcome back to the program. If you're just joining us, a special good morning to you. This is St. Lucia's National COVID-19 response. So we are speaking to persons, a wide cross-section of persons within different organizations, especially the organizations that are at the forefront of the COVID-19 fight. And speaking of that, we have in studio the director of the National Emergency Management Organization, Mrs. Dorine Gustave. Good morning, Mrs. Gustave. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Jessie. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful. First, I want to touch on the curfew. Can you just tell us how the imposition of the curfew has been going so far in terms of persons complying, the rollout of this, this implementation so far?
Okay, so at first it was a bit challenging. I guess persons not being so used to having a situation like this, they were actually challenging the police. And so they were given a leeway at first and warned as to what is there in place to ensure that persons comply. And it is to ensure that persons stay safe. We are talking about the safety of our nation, and this is what is in the forefront of all of the actions that we are taking now. The young persons especially were challenging, and I think we have gotten to a place where persons are starting to understand. There are still some out there who are still challenging the police who would be out there now. I know there are a number of success that the police has had in confiscating, impounding, and making good examples of persons who would dare to break the curfew. The other question you asked was?
In terms of the implementation of it.
Okay, at first it was 8-hour curfew, where persons were supposed to be at home from 11 p.m. I'm not sure if I calculated that right.
11 to 5.
To 5 a.m. It was a bit challenging at that time. The police was working closely with NEMO, informing us of what was going on. We had our discussions, ensuring that while as we go along, being a new thing for us, it is something new for the world. And so as we go along, we had to make changes, and we had to help people understand what it is we're trying to achieve. And so when the police was trying to work with the people and they did not understand what was going on, we had to step back and try to put the message out there, ensure that persons understood what it is that we were doing. Now, we had it in a manner that during the night time, persons would be home, persons would not be, because you know, St. Lucians, we are social beings. We like to meet, it doesn't matter under what circumstances, hurricane, doesn't matter what. We like to meet with each other, but it is something that is necessary we're trying to roll out. And so when the police realized that it was challenging, trying to meet people halfway, and so on, and then we had been warning people that if there was any evidence of community spread, then we had to take it to a second level or third level, on immediate higher level. And this is what we did when there was the total shutdown. When the government realized that there was spread within community, contact spread, we needed to immediately take it up to that level and had the total shutdown. Now, we see the chaos when it is announced. We saw it on social media in the other countries where it was announced. And what we do not want is persons congregating. We need to implement that personal distancing, social distancing, so that persons will not be able to, if they have contracted the COVID-19, will not be able to pass it on to someone else. And so it was done in a deliberate manner to ensure that there is not that rush, as you see it, to the supermarkets and the stores and what have you.
Nevertheless, we did end up seeing that.
Yes.
I want to speak on the overall, I know this is the influenza plan rollout.
Yes.
Yes. And it
was tweaked a bit to the COVID-19 plan.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Can you speak to us about how this was rolled out in terms of any hiccups? You just mentioned that it was tweaked to the COVID-19 pandemic, to respond to that. Can you speak to the hiccups, areas where things went smoothly with that operation?
Okay, so the influenza plan is a comprehensive plan that takes into a number of sectors, and has the health sector, the education sector, and all of the sectors that would be affected. And so with the new COVID plan, it was just to take into consideration the highly infectious characteristic of this COVID-19. And so it was tweaked just slightly. But the plan is, like I said, a comprehensive plan. And so it says how you shut down. It says what are the various organizations that will come together in the event of a shutdown. It speaks to how the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Education along. And I just want to bring this out again to inform the people out there that all of the organizations at play right now are what makes up NEMO. NEMO is not just the secretariat that is located at Busy. The secretariat is where the administrative arm of NEMO happens, but NEMO is all of the bodies, all of the organizations coming together, police, fire, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Infrastructure, and all of the critical infrastructure organizations. So it is bigger than what we're thinking. So when people think that, you know, NEMO is not doing this, but you see the police is out there. That's NEMO at work. You know, the fire service is out there. That's NEMO. So we want persons to understand that NEMO is not just the secretariat. So we were all working together and setting out the plan. Well, I don't want to say a plan per se, because this situation is very fluid.
Yeah.
It is new. It's thinking on your feet. It is actually planning as you go. So my colleagues in the various islands in the region, every day would call. We bounce ideas off each other. How did you handle this? How did you, because St. Lucia is, when we compare, and people say don't compare, we are doing well. We have done well so far.
And would you say your colleagues in the other islands are taking a page?
They are. They call all the time. Now, I want to go back to the influenza plan a bit.
No problem.
St. Lucia has this comprehensive influenza plan, and it was prepared a number of years ago. This plan, according to the WHO and PAO, is one of the best plans that they've seen. And so throughout the region, this plan is being used. They are using this exact plan to roll out anything to do with infectious diseases and so on. And so we can say that we have something good in place.
Wow. You mentioned earlier that there are several agencies that make up the NEMO, and the Secretariat is basically a management, delegation,
coordination,
base. Okay,
coordination arm of it.
Now I want to get into the relief supplies, because last weekend there were several complaints by persons awaiting relief from NEMO.
Yes.
and of course we ended up finding out that it was a lot of local government coordination was put in play. Can you speak to some of the gaps in where persons were calling to find out information, who's responsible for delivery, etc.?
Okay. So again, I want to say that this was new. NEMO has always done delivery of packages to the vulnerable, to the most vulnerable in our country, and this is not new to NEMO. However, in this instance, it was different, because the vulnerable now, we had the list of persons who are on the public assistance program, right? There is a number of persons for that list, right? So you work with that. But however, because of COVID, a number of persons lost their jobs. Persons who were barely making it. And that has caused persons to go immediately into poverty. The farmers, the vendors who wait on the farmers to go and sell the produce, nothing was coming in for them. Persons who were caught off guard, they say, although there was all indication that a shutdown was coming, but I guess NEMO's going out there and asking persons to prepare via whatever means we have done. I have been here and I've asked persons to prepare. That fell on deaf ears. So preparation should be at least for 2 weeks. You have at least 2 weeks supply of groceries in your pantry, whatever your pantry you call it, your cupboards and so on. At least 2 weeks supply. And so we were hearing a lot from those persons who said, I have the funds, I have the money in hand, but I didn't have time shop. I just lost my job. I have no money, I have nothing to feed my children. So immediately that list started expanding. And like I said, in as much as we had the experience of getting the packages out there to the needy, a new feature came into play. And so we had to change a bit. It took it took more time than we expected. Imagine putting 10,000, that was the projection, 10,000 packages.
Sounds like a daunting number.
It was. It was a challenge. And so a lot of changes had to happen as we, as the days unfold, as the numbers came to us. The 311 calls, and the 311 calls were a lot of new persons who fell into that category. We had persons from various communities, and now we have on our in the country poverty assessment the most vulnerable communities, and so you expect the list from there to be higher. And so this is how we were thinking. So from that area, based on what we have seen, based on the information that we have, this is how we're going to roll it out. Like I said, the plans had to change as we went along. And so, yes, there were a number of calls, persons were saying the packages are not getting to them. And then on a normal, well, it is not normal, but a hurricane time, when there is a disaster by a natural event, we have a number of volunteers who can come to assist. We will take them from one point to the next to come to assist. However, with COVID, we could not have that number of persons. We could not have, and taking into consideration the social distancing, we had to have a limited number of persons on ground. And so it was taking us a lot longer to put these packages together. The cadets were on ground from very early. They are the ones who assist us. And our supplies committee is headed by Colonel Hyacinth from the St. Lucia Cadet Corps. And whenever there is such an event, they stand ready to assist. So they were there early. So we put our best foot forward. We did the best that we could under these circumstances to ensure that the supplies get to the persons. But of course, with any situation, there will be gaps. There will be errors of exclusion, errors of inclusion. And so there were lessons learned as we went on. We are better able now to work with a list that is being generated right now based on our experience, and to ensure that the next time that we're faced with a shutdown and we must meet the need of the poor and vulnerable, those who are shut in, those bedridden persons, we have something better to work with. Like I said, it's a lot of lessons learned as we went on. If I can continue with the distribution of the packages, our target was 10,000 packages. However, we distributed 10,542 packages. And that included, and we had also had bulk distribution to the various homes, the children homes, the elderly homes. We had that also. So we had 320 packages of sugar. That's bags of sugar, sorry. 317 bags of flour, rice, 583, and baby supplies, formula, diapers, wipes, 251, water, 4,219 cases.
Okay.
So that is a huge undertaking when you look at the figures here.
Absolutely. Quite disappointing was an enormous feat on the part of NEMO but quite disappointing as the distribution was being made throughout the island. You had reports of persons who hijacked the operation and took packages, as well as complaints that perhaps the distribution was partial and preferential. Can you speak on these two subjects?
Okay, like I said, the list had to be, let me go to the distribution and how it was targeted. The list had to be generated with input from the parliamentary rep, the churches, the community-based organization, the social transformation officer, welfare officer. Now, there are persons in community who probably would know someone that probably would have been missed on that list. And so this is how that it was targeted. Like I said, there would be gaps, there would be errors of exclusion, and we're hoping that it would not happen the next go round.
And suddenly evolved over the course of the week.
Indeed. And if we went in that manner, and this is what was supposed to have happened, then I do not see partiality there. I cannot speak to that. I heard it, but to say that it was on NEMO's part, I can't speak to that.
Okay. And reports of the hijacking of operations, persons bag grabbing.
Right.
Can you speak to that, NEMO's reaction to it?
Okay, so we ensured that when a request was made by the District Disaster Committee, that we sent a police escort. Now, in that particular area, there was police escort, but they had just left with one vehicle. Apparently, they were not enough. So as soon as this vehicle left and they were loading the other vehicle to get the stuff out, and I guess the time too, it was a bit late. Trying our best to get the supplies to the persons who were actually waiting for it, were, I guess, at the forefront of our minds, trying to get those packages out. And so the intention was to get it out, but it was a bit late. And I guess persons became very impatient and decided to serve themselves with some packages. And so after this happened, we messaged, well, we have a group chat to ask persons to be very careful in how they handle the packages, when they go into communities. As for those who needed more police escort, how do we assist and so on. Now the police resources were already stretched, trying to get persons to fall in line with the guidelines that had been established for the shutdown.
Okay. Now moving forward, how prepared, can you speak to NEMO's capacity to dealing with perhaps another full national shutdown, responding to persons for relief, etc.?
Okay. Like I said, lessons learned. We are putting on our after action report together.
Okay.
The recommendations are there. They've come into, some of them have come in, most of them are in already. We're compiling them so that we can discuss with the district disaster committees and putting a plan together moving forward. It is not complete yet because it's as the recommendations come, we discuss and we will plan the best way forward if there is need for distribution of packages moving forward. Okay. So we are discussing, we are planning, we are taking from the lessons that we learned, and I believe planning this time around with all that we were able to get from the various groups and organizations will better prepare us for delivery the next time.
Okay, I now offer you the floor to issue an appeal to the general public, the very unique nature of this viral pandemic and the unprecedented situation it's presented in St. Lucia as well as the other islands in the region. Issue an appeal to the general public as NEMO rolls out its implementation.
Okay, I want to appeal again to the public. everything that we're doing, the late hours that we're staying up, the efforts of the government is for your safety. The guidelines that have been established, we are appealing that you follow them. Do not congregate. Do not practice social distancing. Proper hygiene, washing of your hands as many times as possible. Nothing replaces that. We appeal to you also to ensure that your family is prepared, that you have that discussion with your family, have your own family plan, ensure that you are doing your debriefing at your home on a daily basis, where there are young children, explaining to them as you go along what it is that we're facing. This is something like we have never seen before. The entire world is grappling with this, is trying to grapple with this. And so we're appealing to you to work with NEMO, work with the various agencies so that we can keep you safe and there will not be that level of spread in St. Lucia where we have to shut down again. And, you know, to ensure that you are safe, this is what we're doing, all of the efforts that we are putting in play there. Now I want to also, I cannot end without thanking all of the volunteers who came on board. I want to thank the Cadet Corps. I want to thank the, under the leadership of Colonel Hyacinth, Major Lucia Slick, Major Ainsworth Shalmine, Major St. Just. We had St. Lucia, Volunteer St. Lucia on board. We had the YEAC group on board, and a number of individuals who walked in who are already volunteers on the NEMO who came in to assist. They worked tirelessly. The Cadet Corps said to me, we have worked hard. We worked hard during Maria to get the supplies to Dominica, but we have never worked this hard in our entire life. And so I want to thank them. Also, I want to speak to the issuance of the passes, the passes that were issued to persons to enable them to be out there. Now, like I said, NEMO has its plan in place. There's a structure for NEMO. In the event of an emergency, we always give out these passes, and we give them out to the essential service organizations, the critical infrastructure organizations, and they were Lucilec, Flow, Digicel, Wasco. This time around it was different during the total shutdown. We had to issue passes to persons in the medical field. We had SLASPA because the ports will remain open to ensure that cargo, like food supply, continue coming in. And so we issued passes to those organizations to ensure that they're able to deliver to the public. Also, we realized that with the zoning, persons are saying, okay, I live in the north, but I work in the south. And the Prime Minister explained that very, very well when he said, if you work with an organization, they ought to give you, if you do not have an ID, they ought to give you a letter to state that you are working with the organization, you live in the north, but you work in the south. And so that letter, the police has been informed, and they're going to work with you. We have persons also who would have elderly parents, persons who call and say, my dad is dying, I want to see him for the last time. In as much as we do not want you to visit the elderly, but this is something we have to take into consideration. We know the psychological effect it will have on someone wanting to see their father and so on. So we give a one-off letter. It's if it is Thursday you're going to go to, let's say, library, we'll give you a letter to stating that you're going to library on Thursday, and it ends at 7 p.m. to coincide with the curfew hours. We are not going to issue letters for persons to be out during the curfew hours.
Okay. Yeah, understood. And with that, I hand over to Carlton to engage you in Creole.
Merci. Chay Jesse. Qu'on nous a fait préparation là. Ek ba mwen di mersi an chay Jesse Léonce ek cette ici ou qui a coûté nous sur GIS nous ici à headquarters pour vermin COVID-19 et puis nous bon matin qu'a parler ben nous un monde moi bien surpris pour bon matin qui avait bien tout bonnement bon moi dit bonjour mademoiselle Dorine Gustave
bonjour monsieur
bonjour et merci pour qu'a prendre temps pour venir ici parce que moi bien savent l'année tellement bagay ou ni pour adresser tellement sous contour mais au hen temps et qu'on a fait chance là pour ici pour un chay moun qui peut-être vle savent ça qui ka aller parce que yon c'est non un chay de nous j'attend là vini pour désastre là vini pour une situation comme vermin COVID-19 c'est NEMO. Tout ça qui fait, c'est NEMO. Moi, je voulais commencer, et puis, il y a ces questions, moi, en chay de nous, comme moi-même, te kay à vous devez savent. NEMO, nous savons, où est-ce qu'on savent, les vini pour situation, et puis pour distribuer, manger, pour assister, les gens qui sont plus vulnérables, et puis pour coordonner toute activité ça, dans situation comme ça. Les vini pour NEMO, qui c'est mon comité qui a sous un NEMO. Enfin, ça me vle faire nous comprendre. Nous tan NEMO, nous savons office là c'est busy, comme on dit couteau ka parler. Là vini pour NEMO. Ça qui c'est mon qui là qui c'est différents comités qui a fait NEMO. Enfin, sous ça juste ban nous manière opération y. Là mon tan NEMO, qui ça qui NEMO et qui ça NEMO là pour.
Ok, so NEMO, organisation, tête là, c'est Premier ministre là.
So Premier ministre c'est lui qui tête là venu pour NEMO.
Oui, lui qui tête là. Et cabinet secrétariat, c'est deuxième là après.
So après Premier ministre là, nous avons secrétaire cabinet après Premier ministre là.
Oui. Avec après secrétaire cabinet là, c'est directeur NEMO.
Qui c'est
moi.
Qui c'est
bon. En bas, tout ça, nous avons l'autre organisation comité. Nous avons supplies comité, nous avons welfare comité, nous avons comité qui a deal avec transport, nous avons parce que au besoin ces bagages là qui sorti, oui, right. En bas, tout ça, nous avons différentes organisations qui ont tombé. So nous avons Lucia, nous avons Flow, nous avons Wasco, nous avons Digicel. Nous avons toutes ces infrastructures critiques qui travaillent et puis nous. NEMAC, c'est une organisation qui a conseil. Avec NEMAC, qui a joué avec le Premier ministre, là, nous avons discuté avec le Premier ministre qui attend from différentes organisations. It's a plus petit body.
Now, nous plus petit NEMO, mais yo là pour bail NEMO conseil.
That's right.
Quoi yo là assister NEMO en opération.
So là où les meeting naté couillé avec NEMAC. Ils étaient NEMAC avec stakeholders. So c'était un plus gros des meetings là qui étaient faits là avec tout le monde qui venait ensemble. C'était NEMAC, abat NEMAC. Mais il a tenu stakeholders.
Ok, différents monde qui involvent, yon manière dans l'autre.
C'est l'église là, c'est groupe là.
Ok, Jean l'église, c'est différents clubs, différents bagages. Ok, quoi, nous comprenons manière organisation, et là, il vient pour NEMO, quoi, NEMO en bas direction, Premier ministre, après Premier ministre, nous avons secrétaire cabinet, et puis nous avons toutes les autres organisations. Fait mon comprendre, là, il vient pour une situation qu'on vermine Covid là, qui ça qui, si nous disons, qu'on demain, quand Covid là devenu, qui ça qui était ni pour mettre en place? Parce que nous savons, ni mot j'en ai en place. Parce que l'habitude nous agir puis désastre, mauvais temps, état de secours, nous ni mot à connaître, et bien j'en ai plein ça. Mais quand nous bien savons, bagay là c'est différent. Quand qui ça qui était fait? Quand nous avons COVID-19 vermine ça a affecté nous et nous briser NEMO. Qui manière qui ça ban nous just yon dirty power qui ça qui te fait est-ce que premier ministre la couyo est-ce que hot couyer yon meeting est qui manière bagay la fait pour commencer opération NEMO.
OK, commencement nous t'ai joindre ensemble avec
discuter.
Mais là nous commencer à parler about social distancing oui, nous t'ai parler de social media. Nous avons meeting nous sur Zoom, comme ça discussion qui continue. Bon, ça, mon ni pour comprendre que NEMO système NEMO jani bagay en place. So, nous ni ça au créer un memorandum of understanding avec ces différents
comités
places là qui kay organisation comme supermarket, comme massy stores.
You know représentative là.
Nous ni un memorandum of understanding et puis.
OK.
Si nous nous manger, quand nous te brisons là.
Quand hot honey agreement.
Ouais, là un agreement.
Qui sié et puis yo même d'accord.
D'accord. So là ni ça avec
côté
c'est Jean Gloire avec gouvernement ko yo ka bay
et puis fancy quoi ça c'est place là
foire right.
Quoi la hani agreement sié c'est moun ça. Quand c'est moun ça là quand espérer direction hot NEMO.
Exactement. Quand nous tan Covid, nous te hani comme meeting et puis c'est groupe ça.
Tout ces moun ça sous organisation.
Exactement. So ça déjà fait. So nous déjà préparé pour quand nous n'ayons un shutdown, ça qui juste commencer fait.
OK.
Bon, so tout bail qui vient en place. So
ça c'est une manière opération quoi bagay gens place pour demi kay fan fonctionnaliser nan côté yo ni toutes ces bagay là fa une fonctionnal divia cycle ça yo ja savent NEMO kay kouya sur yo hani agreement les NEMO kouye ça pour fait so c'est pas un bagay pour négocier puis bon nous ni ça en l'idée nous parce que ça moi ka essayer faire pour moun comprendre NEMO on pas là par koy on ka prendre décision c'est organisation et puis c'est différents moun qui assis depuis NEMO l'autre bagay là les vini pour ces comités à commune et comme bien temps nous dit là ni moun qui vulnérable là ni moun qui pauvre là ni moun qui infime et moi temps nous parler dit en liste qui déjà existé qui gouvernement Jacques assisté ces moun ça mais moi temps nous aussi dit situation était différent pour ça parce que moun qui pète travail qui travaille avec affaires touristes organisation et ben travail qui prend coup et ben qui dépendre à touristes c'est moun ça a trouvé si yon moun ni pour un non yo en les liste là qui manière ça qu'a fait parler les ça et puis là il vient pour ces communes parce que moi bien temps nous dit parlement moun qui a représenter et c'est différents boss là yo trouvé qu'on a représenter la comité yo là ni moins des comité désastre là gouvernement local qui manière yo moun ka trouvé ko yo à sous liste ça parce que ou bien parler de la hanion liste quoi si moi prend les liste là et ça fait et comment moi ka crier ban nous manière opération y pour yon moun trouver quoi parce que nous te nion des moun ka dit cox nous ici moi ni envie monsieur il parle là et yon c'est bail là nous te ka essayer dit est non il parle les liste là quand chaque moun l'autre question c'est qui manière na normalement les liste là qui moun qui responsable
eh bien bon comment nous ni ça yo ka créer district disaster committee yo ha travailler ouais tout mais oublier dire si tu peux première la liste moi pour dire merci merci oui comité disaster
m'a vle du bouton là mais là dans comité chaque commune
bon moi vle dire ça parce que là dernier deux trois comités qui pas qu'à fonctionner mais nous trouver moun pour placer yo mais moun qui était sous comité qui était ka dit OK moi vle aider là
moun ka volonté
time mais yo déjà sous comité il pas qu'à fonctionner nous servir mais depuis l'année passée nous déjà mis plan pour nous faire élection pour tout côté qui pas qu'à fonctionner avec côté parce que yo là pour deux l'année depuis deux l'année a fini supposé une élection neuf
et pour replacer yo
en chaque place là nous nous déjà metté un notice pour dire nous can élection mais quand Covid fait nous pas ça faire élection so nous trouver qu'on nous juste changer ça nous a fait avec pour nous répondre pour Covid bon c'est groupe ça là c'est yo qui est commune local gouvernement
local
l'année community nurse là so moun ça chercher différentes manières côté qui plus près manière qui plus aisée pour mettre bayo non avec non ça la kay trouvé pour NEMO à sous liste ça là. C'est parlementaire pour ni même parlement ou bali. Amon dans l'église ou
parce que là ni moun ka représenter les comités ça à l'église là.
Des fois comité qui en commune ou ka bayo. L'année ça que social transformation officer you got avec Ministry of Equity. C'est ministre qui a gardé pour pauvreté cette liste. L'année welfare officers yo c'est directement qu'à deal avec pauvreté. So toutes ces moun ça là.
Ça c'est moun ça
pour ça jeune
ça va non qui représenter pour commune ou ça va les venir pour religion pasteur prêtre ou PV moun ka représenter en parlement moun ça ça c'est manière en moun ka hen. Bon, si moi pour côté bail moi côté bail pièce moun ça parce que nous bien d'accord temps ça ou peut-être pas même moi yon dit parce que yo te dit pas sorte d'or. Vous comprenez là venir pour ka couiller. Est qui moun ça couiller c'est comité limoa qui yo ban nous toi yon est ça moun te ça couiller et puis mettez la veille ça. Te ça couiller aussi. Oui. OK. Eh ben moi juste vle moun comprendre ça parce que ça moun ka dit NEMO et que pas comprendre manière il ka travail dat qui non ni pour sous liste là et manière ka joindre non à sous liste là c'est faux ou aller outil et yon c'est membre c'est comité et yon c'est bagay là moun ni pour comprendre aussi moi bien content parler de ça c'est l'invini pour yon des comités qui pas ka fonctionner parce que élection teni pour point coup et NEMO ni excusez-moi COVID-19 situation vini quoi moi mais ça dis-moi, là il vient pour distribution, parler un petit en laisse combien moi côté cabane yon de limo, là il vient pour distribution. Dis-nous avant ba nous c'est limo qui manière NEMO ka déterminer comment ka joindre avant côté chokale avant et moi ka moi même yon c'est bagay là c'est si liste là ni pour tout vous tout on pas une liste on peut pas faire rien mais ça c'est moi même qui a calculé ça mais chaque monde veut tenir et qui moi qui bien apprécié qui manière ka déterminer bon nous hani ces bag là nous hen ces monde qui ka aider nous pour mettre ensemble qui manière nous ka déterminer comment qui commune qui ka hen avant et ben qui manière ba là situation corporation.
Bon, comme on dit, situation c'était une situation quand il fait nous ka calculer OK. So là nous disait comme un désastre nous vle liste là yo ban nous NEMO avec den nous commencer calculer nous venir nous dit OK nous ca faire 10 000
on veut faire 10 000 bag pour bail c'est ça que ça
so andi asla dit nous yo vle 500 moi just ka dit ça
oui nous ka service ça
par exemple nous ka dit OK quand nous commencer mettre ensemble quand yo venu quand c'est différents comités arrivé NEMO nous ka bayo ça nous paye bayo les dénoter pas
oui moi comprendre ça quand par exemple nous ka servir là avec nous ka dit là comité désastre là de yo besoin 500 sacs pour monde qui vont avec monde qui pauvre ou les yo même yo ka voyer liste là bas et yo même hani bagay en place pour venir amasser c'est bail ça.
Oui, nous t'ai assisté aussi parce que l'année un désastre toute machine gouvernement peut venir pour NEMO pour aide
pour assister.
Non, dans ces bagages là c'était gros bagages. So yo t'ai chassé gros machine, gros loto, gros truck pour venir. So nous t'ai pour changer ça avec dans chasse place là yo voit gros truck pour venir. So quand yo vini, là yo vini depuis nous ni limo yo mandé nous parce que yo ka mettre ces bail là à de pack là.
Yo ka met
un bag là avec nous ka côté commun. Au niveau 500 ou ka après 500 ou ka aller puis nous ka ba 500 ou ka signer pour lui là dans record avec tout ça qui distribué yo ka signer pour lui.
Yo ka c'est quoi c'est en manière situation c'est moun qui veut là avant après avoir liste.
Oui.
Quand la pendant rien qu'on nous ka bail manger jessi avant bail cook ça. C'est moun qui veut liste et qui rive là qui ni machine c'est baglan ja préparé yo bail. Moi dis juste les moun comprendre opération.
Adam moun te venu plus bonne qu'il est avant nous te parler.
OK.
So nous pas ça ba yo rien. So nous nous ka préparer quand nous fini parler nous peut ba yo.
OK. Quoi, là, il vient pour ces mois vitement parce que tant qu'à venir sous nous, ou dit nous, c'est l'Islam, hot hen, hot te ka targeté 10 000, et puis combien hot by 10 542.
Oui, c'est ça.
Plus passer ça, hot te targeté pour faire. Et quand tout dit là, il vient pour 320, hot fait ça, là, il vient pour faire une France 317. Là, il vient pour Diwi 583. Là, il vient pour Bagay Mamay 251. Là, il vient pour Glo 4219. Ça, c'est Bagay la hot mettez ensemble. Vitement, qui conseille ou kay bay cette ici? Qui ça vous voulez dire? Là, pour faire NEMO et puis manière pour préparer koyo parce que y en a ces bagages là qui ont l'idée moi question moi voulais mando dernièrement c'est là il vient pour nous savent saison cyclone dans ka vini ça c'est un autre conseil moi savent NEMO d'être ni mon Dieu yon qui savent ça ka vini quoi qui conseil nous kay bay Saint-Lucien ka sorti hot NEMO qu'on nous a en mi-temps vers min Covid là et nous ka agir puis
bon m'a dit tout Saint-Lucien tout travail là qui a allé là, tous ces plans qui a fait là, c'est pour quitter, pour tenir où à de bonne santé. Travail et puis ça nous jamais été là-bas où. Nous devons pas aller à des places qui disent comme un monde. Couvert figure avec un masque. Rester 6 pieds, hod, y'en a l'autre. Rester caillou. Ça qui plie pour faire. Rester caillou, laver la main souvent avec travail et puis ça nous jamais été baou pour tenir ou safe. Sauf. Pour tenir. Non, me ka di saison cyclone a tout arrivé. Nous déjà commencé à planer avant Covid pour saison cyclone. Nous déjà dit comme un meeting mais Covid vini avec il just pour over tout bagay. So nous ka continuer nous ka di moun pour tête caillou. Joindre avec femme mettez plan ensemble. Couper bois qui pied bois qui pour caillou. Faire un passage pour l'eau à passer. Pas quitter de l'eau rester bocaille. Nettoyer canal eau. Make sure that femme comprend ça nous ka travailler puis avec sur un plan, sur un plan, mettez un plan ensemble pour be sure pour assurer tout le monde a la comprendre ça plan on est en place pour famille. So oui.
Oui, dernière, moi ça voulait venir pour l'autre côté. En chay de nous Chile, qui ça qui a fait l'autre pays avec moi changer ou te ka parler bay Mazel Jesse que yon ces questions et qui manière bagay la ka marcher l'autre pays. Quoi dis-moi, là venir pour l'autre pays avec ces gens a parler bay là en ligne de ça. Qui manière nous ka fait comparer pour ces although nous pas peut-être pas veut comparer, mais qui manière kay nous là venir pour ka adresser ces situations ça.
Eh bien, je suis appelé cette lycée qui a managé, pareil, ça appelé cette lycée, qui a managé bien parce que c'est pas moi. Des fois, ces places-là, NEMO, c'est des fois ces places-là. Ils ont créé nous, toutes les mandés, nous, qui manière ou fait ça. Ce qui ça fait, les ça t'est fait. So, nous avons parlé de y'en a l'autre, nous avons share ideas, nous avons encouragé y'en a l'autre. Mais je suis dit cette lycée, nous avons fait bien. Nous avons fait best nous pour moun pas mort. Nous pas voulons moun mort parce que toute la vie c'est la vie bon Dieu bail. Nous avons precious, la vie c'est precious. So tout le monde nous pas voulons moun mort en bagay ça cette lycée. So travailler puis nous pour assurer tout le monde rester en bonne santé.
Eh bien, là, on est, merci tellement, Gustave, directeur NEMO, ici, et puis nous, autant de ces questions, peut-être que vous voulez répondre, et conseil là, on tenir ici, qui va nous assez informations, les arriver à ce moment, et moi, envié par, Jesse Léonce, chancelier pour nous, venir dans bout segment ça.
Thank you very much, Carlton. This wraps up our segment right now. We are due for another break. We will be speaking to Ms. Gina McPhee, the Communications and Public Relations Officer at the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority. She will be updating us on the services currently offered under this 10-hour curfew and overall emergency powers ordinance situation in St. Lucia. Do stay tuned for that and more. Thank you very much, Mrs. Gustave, for your time.
You're welcome. Thanks
Dorine
for having
Gustave, Director of the National Emergency Management Organization. Stay tuned.
Coronavirus? But children are safe, no?
Hold up. Children are actually more likely to touch all kinds of surfaces, put their hands on their mouths and their eyes, or sneeze and cough with little thought about hygiene when around others. While children have been seen to recover well from this virus, they can easily spread it to those more at risk, like the elderly or ill persons who have a weaker immune system. Teach the little ones in your care to be little powerhouses of infection prevention. Keep reminding them, wash your hands. Cover your mouth with tissue or your inner elbow when you sneeze and cough. And be sure to praise them when you see them taking these precautions.
Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Coronavirus? I am worried, Gasa. It's only old people dying from that.
Hold up. Being young does not mean being safe. Yes, it's true that the elderly are at higher risk, but anyone can get the virus. The effect is even worse if you have a chronic condition like hypertension, heart disease, lung disease, and diabetes, or weakness in your immune system. If you are living with these conditions, be extra careful. Wash your hands with soap and water. Use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol when hand washing is not possible. Avoid touching your face. Take steps to boost your immunity through proper nutrition, exercise, rest, and take your medication as prescribed. Limit being around people who have flu symptoms, even close family members.
Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Welcome back to the National COVID-19 Response Report for this morning. For those of you who have been following the broadcast, we appreciate you. For those of you just joining, we have been speaking to the National Emergency Management Organization's Director, Mrs. Dorine Gustave. Also, we spoke to someone from the Human Services Department, giving us some information as to how you can care for your children, how you could guide your children who are at home at the moment, a psychological advice for them. We're now joined in studio via the phone lines by Ms. Gina McPhee. She's the Communications and Public Relations Officer at the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority. Good morning, Ms. McPhee. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
How have you been faring during this COVID-19 curfew situation right now?
I have been doing well, although it's really an experience to see what COVID-19 has really done to the public, this shift that it has automatically just allowed us to see. But it has been, amid what it is, it has been an experience for a lot of us.
Wonderful. The services currently offered by SLASPA, can you just give us some information in terms of the operations right now, in terms of scale down, expand?
Yes, definitely. Well, in the initial stage of the global announcement of COVID-19, SLASPA, understanding that we are the custodians of ANC operations, we saw it necessary to apply aspects of our business continuity plan. But what is really involved in the business continuity planning is the process involved in creating a system of prevention and recovery from potential threats to an organization. So the plan ensured that personnel and assets would be protected and are able to function quickly in the event of a disaster. So as part of our business continuity plan, SLASPA, we activated our infectious disease policy, one that outlines procedures in dealing with infectious and communicable diseases. So thus, as it relates to our services and our various facilities, we have been adamant in requesting assistance from the public as well as our employees. And one of the first things is that persons who are transacting business at the port must adhere to the rule of social distancing. The World Health Organization has spoken to it. The Ministry of Health they've sensitize the public on the importance of it. So that is one thing that we are trying to ensure at the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority. Also, as it relates to our services, we are first informing customers that our port police officers who are on duty at the various locations will be enforcing that law. Also at the Castries Seaport, we are asking for a maximum of 10 customers who will be permitted in the barrel section and 10 customers in our commercial section of Shed 6. And the port police officers will enforce that. And that is also for the safety of our employees as well as our customers who will be transacting business. At our SLASPA headquarters, that is our main building, a maximum of 4 customers will be facilitated in the reception area. At the Viewfort Seaport, a maximum of 10 customers will be permitted in the cargo shed. 2 customers will be permitted in the operations office and 1 at the cashier. But the great thing is that we have provided a waiting area. We've made that available at our various locations for customers within the waiting area, and we will be enforcing the 6 feet for safe distancing that must be maintained at all facilities.
Okay. Can you give us information on your service hours?
Okay, so the service hours, cargo shed deliveries at the Castries and Viewfort Seaport will be from 8 to 12. So if persons must come to the seaport now, I would recommend that they come at this time because at 12 our services will be put at a halt until the next day. So it's from 8 to 12. Other deliveries will be from 8 to 4 p.m. Our cashier services at the Castries Seaport will be available from 8 to 3:30.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. Ms. Gina McPhee, Communications and Public Relations Officer at SLASPA.
So welcome.
Any final words?
We're just asking the public to really adhere to the rules placed by the authority, but first of all, adhere to the rules of the Ministry of Health. Because this thing, for us to win this war, we must work together. But we believe that we can do it, and then St. Lucia will stand up again.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Gina
You're most welcome.
McPhee, Communications and Public Relations Officer at the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority. Thank you very much for that update. Carlton?
You're welcome.
Merci Anchai, Mademoiselle Jessie. Encore, nous remercions qu'on nous continuer ici à Headquarters Vermin COVID-19 GIS Studio. Là, à souligner nous tenons Mademoiselle Gina McPhee, responsable pour communication côté SLASPA. On est capable nous porter à manière bagaille là SLASPA. Question qui est posée d'ailleurs. Qui manière yo même aménager parmi bagay il dit les vini pour opération yo ja observer opération yo te hani un plan et yo mette plan ça en action plan c'est pour faire assurer yo protecter ko yo moun qui ka travailler puis yo puis customer qui ka venir faire business et puis yo parce que yo bien savent là yo de business service et port et puis c'est airport pour ou qui peut peut-être vous savez parmi bagay yo ja fait yo pas après plus passer 10 customers là vini pour gens qui veulent barrel pour ces gens qui a fait business et qui représenter place business yo pas après plus passer 10 moun là ni yon côté yo vle ka espérer avant yo quitter entrer place ça dit yo ka fait pas yo pour faire assurer chaque moun était 6 pieds qui j'ai demandé hord yon a lot en place quoi qui a dit yo ka fait business pour side Castria il dit 8h pour matin pour midi et moi vieux fort il dit 8h pour 3h30 encore dernier parole c'était pour tout le monde paye attention et d'où l'ovini côté SLASPA pour conducter business fait assurer c'est police là qui est responsable SLASPA yo qui fait assurer ou suivre direction qui baille par les autorités. Jesse?
Thank you very much for that. We want to line up a report coming from Ms. Fernell Neptune from the Ministry of Health and Wellness on the importance of quarantining and isolation. We are wrapping up our broadcast, our program for this morning to make way for more programming coming up in just a moment here on NTN Live at the GIS studios. A report now on the importance of quarantining and isolation.
As St. Lucia continues to respond to the global pandemic of COVID-19, the Ministry of Health and Wellness stresses on the need to place individuals in quarantine and isolation to prevent the spread of the virus. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar-George outlined the difference between quarantine and isolation.
We use quarantine for persons who are well and who may have been exposed to a communicable disease. So these are people who feel well, they're asymptomatic, that's what we call it, with no signs and symptoms, and they may have been exposed. So we monitor them during that incubation period to see whether or not they develop signs and symptoms. But if they do develop signs and symptoms, you would then need to isolate them. And during isolation is for persons who are showing signs and symptoms, that is, they are sick. Many times isolation would be done in a hospital or healthcare type setting where they can get treatment as well. Isolation is even stricter because when you develop the signs and symptoms, it means that you have the capacity to spread it to other persons.
Dr. Belmar-George also spoke on the procedures put in place for individuals in isolation, given that it requires stricter conditions.
From the beginning of isolation, we would have done the tests to see if you're negative or positive for the disease that you were exposed. So we would do the test and we would keep you within the facility. It would be a single room and we would give you the necessary treatment until after the isolation period of the disease, when you've recovered, we would then retest you, and until you get a negative test, we would then allow you to go home.
The Chief Medical Officer emphasized on the need for individuals to comply with the rules and regulations of the Quarantine Act.
The quarantine authority is the Chief Medical Officer. So the Chief Medical Officer has the powers to determine the location and the type and designate an area, a quarantine site. The Chief Medical Officer also has the power to decide which persons or things become within isolation, within the quarantine facility, and also indicate who can enter or leave the quarantine facility. It also gives the police the power to arrest, even without a warrant, someone who does not comply with the rules and regulations of the quarantine facility, which is set by the quarantine officer, who's the Chief Medical Officer.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness appeals to St. Lucians to continue adhering to the measures put in place to protect the nation from the virus. Reporting from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Fernell Neptune.
Thank you very much, Fernell Neptune, for that update, to that report on the importance of quarantine and isolation. As we close, we just want to remind you to stay indoors as much as possible to reduce the risk of transmitting COVID-19. Thank you so much for watching this program, the COVID-19 response, St. Lucia's COVID-19 response report. My name is Jessie Leonce, and on behalf of the rest of the team here in studio, we bid you a good morning and going into a great afternoon. Goodbye.